So many things going on in the world, and you always hear about gratitude and thankfulness and mindfulness. So today I'm going to give you the 5 ways that being grateful will help you overcome any bad situation. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Colleen. My name is Colleen Hammond. If this is your first time joining us, I am a former on-camera meteorologist turned image consultant, coach, and mentor. And I was talking about this in the pre-show chat. I just got this succinct way of saying what I do. And most women, the reason I do what I do is because most women have no idea how great they will look and feel once they get their style right. And so that's why I created the Style Academy, so that you'll know exactly what to wear every single solitary day, so that when you walk out the door, you're confident knowing that you will look and feel fascinating. So today we're going to talk about gratitude. And I don't know why that's not on, but that's on now. We're going to talk about gratitude and the power that being grateful has and how you can make gratitude a habit. So gratitude can get you through difficult times. It can turn your life around. It can motivate you. It can help you reach your goals. And what it also will do is change your mindset, from Eeyore to, something a little bit more positive, so that you're always focused on good things and happy things. And so that when the bad times do come around, you're prepared, you're ready. And so we're going to help you master thankfulness and nurture a grateful mindset. So I guess kind of how this, an example that comes to mind is a few years ago, somebody contacted me that totally had lost his business in a fire. Burnt to the ground, everything gone. Everything he'd worked for. Come to find out, the insurance there was a problem with the insurance. There was a problem with, I don't remember all the details. But, how do you respond when someone calls and tells you this horrible tragedy, right? They lost everything. How do you comfort somebody like that? And one of the things that comes to mind is, I understand what you're going through. I don't understand what you're going through. My business didn't burn down and the insurance didn't pay, right? I didn't have all these employees that I'm responsible for. There's things that happen in your personal life, but when something happens to you that impacts all these other people, what do you say? I don't understand that. Or do you say, well, here's a solution. Well, I don't know what the solution is to that. That's not my expertise. That's not, and you listen, of course, and you let people talk out and explain their situation. And what you don't want to do is cut to this part, cut to the chase. But eventually, when somebody has really vented and gotten things out, you say, I'm sorry for your loss, etc. But there are so many things that you can be thankful for. Thank God your employees weren't present. Thank God this happened in the middle of the night and no one lost their life. Thank God you still have your health. Thank God your spouse didn't leave you over this. Thank God there's always a way over, around, under, or through a situation. And I know that you will figure it out. Don't know what the answer to that is right now, but I know that you'll figure it out. And kind of stopped and said, you're right. I lost just about everything, but I said, you're a survivor. And don't I tell you that all the time? You are a survivor because you're still here. And one of the things we want to avoid is depression, especially clinical depression, but you want to avoid getting into that dark place in your life. And that's where this gratitude and thankfulness comes in. So we went through a few things. Okay, well, this is where I think you can be thankful for. And then I'm trying to get him to change his mindset. What do you think you can be thankful for? And so you have to stop. And once you stop, what you think about, you bring about. And what you focus on is where you go. So for example, when you're learning how to drive a car, like trick driving, and do you ever take one of those courses? If you haven't, you should. That's a blast. On how to recover from a spin or how to handle a car. things are going badly, right? Now I'm not like a stunt driver or anything like that by any means, but taking one of those classes is so much fun. And I was able to do it for free, which made it even more fun. But anyway, what the driver instructor said was, okay, you're swinging around and you're coming up. I want you to keep your eyes focused over here because that's where you want to go. But all I could see was that post. What do you call that? Like a light post over there. And I kept looking at that. Guess what the side things, guess what hit it? Right? He said, I know exactly, you were looking at that post, weren't you? And I went, I don't think so. He goes, I know you were because that's where the car went. Where your focus is where you are going to go, where the car is going to go. And it's the same is true in our own minds. What we focus on is where we're heading. So we've talked about before about stress, and stress is about when you're thinking about the past or when you're thinking about the future, that's where stress and anxiety come in. But when you're focused on right now and what can I do right now in this moment, that's when things get accomplished. So where your mind is at and what you're focusing on is exactly where you're going to go. Same way with driving a car. So this is what he did. He focused on it. 6 months later, he was back in business. All of his employees had been rehired and everything was fine. So what was it that he did? He maintained his gratitude. He shifted his focus from disaster. He shifted his focus on what he was capable of doing today, right now, in this moment. And he expressed gratitude and thankfulness for the things that he still had. So the key to getting through any bad situation starts right now. You have to get in the habit of focusing on thankfulness, gratitude, and those types of things. So number one, you want to shift your focus. So the worst thing about going through a hard time is not thinking about it, because it seems like that's the only thing you can think about, right? Is the thing that has happened, whether it's, suffering through the flu, losing employees, losing your building, losing a job. Is Janet here? I didn't see Janet this morning. You can't help but think about it, right? So the trick is to shift your focus. Because as soon as you shift your focus, two thoughts, two emotions. Emotions are chemicals inside your body. So you can't have negative chemicals and positive chemicals like gushing through your veins at the same time. So when you shift your focus, everything about your physiology changes. So learning to concentrate on something else, prayer, meditation. I was going through a situation this past week and I was so freaked out. I said, wait a minute, I have got to stop. And I hopped on the bike because I have one of those mini bikes in my living room in front of the TV, right? So I hopped on that for like 10 minutes and just pedaled as fast as I could to burn off some of this excess negative energy, which releases endorphins and makes you happy again. So learning to shift your focus, because you unintentionally start thinking about what has gone wrong. So as soon as you notice that, shift your focus and say things to yourself. I'm still standing. I'm still here. I've survived. I'm still here. I survived this. I have survived the worst. I have already accomplished things. I still have this, that, I still have these things. So getting in the habit of saying that to yourself now, hey, every noon, at noon when you take a lunch break, you know what? I'm still standing. I survived. Good for me. Get in the habit of doing that now so that when bad times come, because they do, it's life, you'll already be in the habit of shifting your focus. Number two, you want to encourage these positive emotions because gratitude gives birth to more positive thoughts. So the thoughts that you're thinking determine how you act, how you react, how you respond, and ultimately how you feel. So mastering this thankfulness and this gratitude will help you foster more positive thoughts. I'm strong enough. I can fix it. I've survived worse. I can do it. So when you understand that when you feel that you can, that's when you can turn it around. If you've ever tried to do something, I can't. Sure enough, that's what's going to happen. So, for example, when I was working at the Weather Channel, I worked with a guy, Kevin Raymer. I think he's out in Sacramento now. Kevin Raymer and I were pretty good friends. And we went on this whitewater rafting trip in the Chattanooga, which ended up, they used it for, there was, I think, level 4 or something like that. They ended up using it for the Olympics. But I didn't know it was the first time whitewater rafting. So they walk us through all of these. A bunch of us from the Weather Channel went up. So they walked us through all these emergency procedures and all that kind of stuff. We had the helmet. We had the life preservers. They told us what to do. If you fall out, then this is what you do. You cross your legs, you cross your arms, and then you just, you keep going, because we'll catch up to you downriver and we'll fish you out of the water, right? So sure enough, all Kevin said the entire time, he's, oh my gosh, I know, I'll be the only one that falls out. I'm just going to fall out. I just know I will. I just know I will. He pre-programmed himself to, and sure enough, boy, we're going through the rapids, it was exhilarating, let me tell you. But sure enough, all of a sudden we hit a bump. We had a lot of bumps, and I turned and looked, and all I saw was the bottom of a size 12 going off the edge of the boat. Sure enough, and we catch up with him, fish him out of the water. And he said, I told you, I knew I was going to fall out. So when you focus on that, what you're focusing on is what will happen. Wouldn't it be better to focus on something positive all the time? Because when you understand that doing something is only possible when you feel that you can, that's how it happens. So anyway, number 3, eliminate fears. So gratefulness does help you focus and concentrate on your ability to turn things around. And when you do focus on that gratitude and that thankfulness, and you realize, I've done this before, maybe not this exact same situation, but I've done things before that I've overcome, and I can do it again. That helps eliminate your fears. Because really, what's fear? Fear, I mean, when you think about a lot of things, what's the worst that can happen? I think about bungee jumping, the worst that can happen is death, but we're not talking about bungee jumping. But when you realize that you have overcome, and you're grateful for the fact that maybe you weren't able to do it, but maybe you were introduced to somebody, or coincidentally you met somebody that was able to help you. You just focus on that gratefulness, and the solution appears, whether through yourself or your own doing or somebody else. So appreciate what you've already accomplished in the past, which you can still accomplish in the future, that will help you turn things around. So you can use thankfulness and gratitude to overcome your fears. Number 4, focus on your strong points. Pay attention to what you can do. So there may be things you can't do to get through the situation. Maybe it is out of your hands, and maybe it is out of control. So if it's totally out of your hands and totally out of control, then you don't worry about it at all, because if there's nothing you can do, I'm in that situation today. It's been going on this whole past week, where there's a situation that, I have absolutely no control over it. None whatsoever. And if it doesn't go my way, it will be very, very disappointing. But there's nothing I can do about it either way. So move on. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Does it bother me? Yeah. But I have to focus on the fact that it's totally out of my hands. Totally out of my control. So when you're in crisis, sometimes the only way of seeing things from a different perspective is changing what you don't like. So if you can focus on, hey, I'm good at this, I can use this skill to affect change in this situation. I can't impact any of the other parts of this situation, but I can use my skills for this particular portion. At least you're taking some action. And when you take action, you actually do feel better. And then you can move in the right direction and hopefully start seeing those changes. And number 5, imparting a sense of self-worth. Save this one for last, because I think it's one of the most important things, because gratitude can help you feel better about yourself. One thing about self-worth is the nice part when you have other people around you that can let you know that they do value you even when you're at your lowest points. Or when somebody unexpectedly does something for you and you realize that there are people out there who care about you, and they care about your welfare, and they care that what happens to you. We all have those people. And if you don't think you do, you've got me. So already you've got somebody in your life that does care. I care. So appreciate that because of things that people have done for you in the past, your life is in a different, better place. Maybe people did unexpected things. You know what? Maybe people did things for you that you don't even know about right now. And so be grateful for those things that, who was it? They had that song that when you get to heaven, there's going to be a line of, I'm going to start crying. There's going to be a line of people there waiting to thank you for the things that you said and did that impacted their life in an amazing way that you didn't even realize. That happened to me at my 30th high school reunion. A gal came up to me and said, you know what? I just want to thank you for that time in 10th grade. Remember we went to Cedar Point, which is like Six Flags, right? And everybody else ran away, but you and I was all left all alone. And you came back and you ended up spending the day with me. I do not remember that. 33 years later, she told me at our 30th class reunion that something I had done that I didn't even know. She goes, oh my gosh, yeah, you were always doing things for people. Really? I don't remember that at all. At all. So there'll be a line waiting for you of people to thank you for the things that you did that you may not even know about. You may not even know about. So get in the habit to overcome your negative thoughts, control your emotions, get back up and turn your life around so that when the bigger things happen, it'll be easier to handle them. Is it going to hurt? Yeah, it's still going to hurt. But at least you'll be in the habit of being grateful and being thankful and know how to get through it. So first of all, you want to shift your focus. If you find yourself thinking about negative things, shift yourself into what you can do right now. Secondly, you want to encourage positive emotions at all time. Third, these positive emotions will help you eliminate your fears. Fourth, the positive emotions and thinking positive will help you focus on your strengths and your strong points. And fifth, it will impart a sense of self-worth. So get in the habit of every day, morning, noon, night, whenever you can, take little post-it notes. That's what I take, these little post-it note things. And you see, I write myself notes all the time. Write myself a little note, stick it on my computer, stick it on my mirror. So when I'm brushing my teeth, I am just grateful for clean water. You know how many places in the world don't have clean water? I'm grateful for surviving. You made it to lunch. Yay. You got up this morning. You actually got makeup on this morning. Yay, right? It just whatever you can think of. And don't turn the negative stuff into jokes because it's still negative, right? Yeah, I got up, but boy, my hair just didn't work out today. Stop it with that. Focus on the good and the beautiful because it's always around you and you can always find it. Just get into the habit so that when the bad times come, and this year has been a challenge, has it not? You'll be able to get through. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If you're not following me already on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and click the little bell so that you'll get notified every time I release. I go live at least once a week, and we've got more videos in production that are going to be releasing more often. And if you're not a member of the Cafe Club, by all means, join the Cafe Club. We've got some bonuses coming with today's episode. And then we've got also a webinar tomorrow night. So make sure you subscribe or sign up for the webinar. It's at colleenhammond.com/Zoom, ZOOM. We're going to talk about being on camera. And that link probably will still link to the webinar when it becomes permanent. So make sure you go ahead and follow the link if you're watching this on a replay a year later. Who knows? All right. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time.